Hi, I'm Vanessa Lake, a spiritual practitioner, mental health therapist, and a soul grid healer. Today, we're diving into something most people have never heard of, but it quietly affects every part of your life: grid work. If you've ever felt off in your home, like you're carrying trauma that doesn't belong to you, or if you've been stuck in chronic patterns, no matter how much therapy, spiritual practice, shadow work, or manifestation you do, this might be why. Let's talk about what grid work is, why it matters, and how it can literally change your life. Grid work is the spiritual practice of working with energy grids. Think of them like the Earth's nervous system, or the energetic architecture behind physical reality. Just like your body has nerves and meridians, energy centers often used in acupuncture work, the Earth has ley lines, vortexes, and energy grids that connect sacred sites like Stonehenge and Great Pyramids, trauma zones, thinking like Holocaust, wars, Hiroshima, and soul imprints. Some people do good work by meditating at sacred places. Others, like me, are called to clear and repair grids that have been corrupted, especially the ones holding deep trauma. There are different kinds of grids. Natural grids are like crystal beds and Earth's chakras. Since Earth is a living consciousness, science has even documented a heartbeat frequency that pulses, like Earth is alive. It has energy centers just like humans. There are grids that are technological or artificial grids created through dark magic or manipulation. Then there's entrapment grids. These are the ones that I'm often called to clear. These hold the pain of mass death, genocide, abandoned souls, or forgotten history. They anchor trauma into the land and can affect anyone living or working nearby. So, why does this matter to you? When you're around these corrupted grids, you might experience chronic anxiety or depression with no clear cause. Sleep issues are nightmares that feel not your own, dreams of things that you've never actually experienced or even seen on TV. Feeling heavy, scattered, or unsafe in certain places, like bad vibes. Like, ooh, I don't like going to their house. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right there. That's the feeling. Relationship or family conflict that feels bigger than just you. As a therapist, I see this show up as generational trauma, getting stuck in that loop for generations, family passing down dysfunction that you can't seem to break the pattern. I see it as disassociation, which is when someone checks out or goes numb, or they truly black out when they're triggered and they don't remember conversations or their own behavior. It can also show up as chronic somatic symptoms, which just means physical. So, like IBS, and doctors can't explain why your gut's, a mess. Migraines, chronic inflammation, autoimmune diseases, because the body isn't attacking itself. It's just attacking energy that science can't see yet. And the physical body is collateral damage. Traditional therapy can only go so far when the root is energetic. And as a trauma therapist for over 10 years, I've seen therapy do wonderful work to help clients heal. And other times, it's just not enough because it's deeper than their human physical experiences alone. Clearing these grids helps the land, yes, but it also helps you. You stop unconsciously absorbing the pain that isn't yours. You reclaim your vitality and your health, and you come back into your body. You don't have to dissociate and numb or cut off in order to survive in that environment. Now, the work that I do is remote, intuitive, and deeply collaborative. I cannot do this by myself. I work with dragons, angels, light teams, and galactic helpers. Yes, aliens, if that's what you want to call them, to clear and reweave these grids. Don't ask me to say it 3 times fast. Most of what I'm called to clear are entrapment grids in locations like battlefields, burial sites, prisons, hospitals, forgotten places where people were tortured, neglected, or left behind. I've shared some of those stories here on YouTube of the smallpox caves, a mass burial site, or the town that was wiped off the map because of the horrible things that happened there. I'm also called to homes built on top of trauma sites or cursed land. And yes, I understand that cursed. It brings up Hollywood movies of black magic and witches in the woods making sacrifices to curse some ex lover who broke their heart. But for lack of a better word, the land is damaged and imprinted with a dark, low vibration, painful energy that ripples the effects into the physical world with the people or the property that it's on. I also do space and land clearings, which is like an energy detox for your house or property. If you've ever moved into a place and suddenly things go sideways, that could be why. Symptoms that a space needs clearing include pets acting strange or scared. Pets can see things we can't. They have a different frequency that they're able to pick up on. So if they're standing at a doorway in a room with their hair standing on end, their tail puffed up, and they're growling, and you're like, I don't see anything, there's probably a clearing that needs to happen there because they're seeing what's there. If your kids are waking up, especially small children, young children, because they're closer to the veil, they haven't been embodied in the human body with the ego and society saying that's not real, it's not true, and talking themselves out of it. So they're more open to see the truth of what's there. That might show up as night terrors or seeing monsters, and you're like, well, I don't see anything. If they're seeing it and they're having a true experience from it, then there may be something there that needs to be cleared. If there's constant tension or illness in the home, I mean, if it's been 6 months that your family has been sick and you're on your fourth antibiotic and you can't seem to get over it, there may be an energy of the home causing the physical illness that won't just go away from something that should work. Like you do, oh, I always do this natural remedy, it's not working. Oh, I always take an antibiotic and this one cures me in 4 days, it's not working. That would be a sign. Tech going haywire. TVs or radios turning on and off randomly on their own. That's a really good sign that there's some energy there that needs to be cleared. Financial or emotional chaos after moving. So I've seen this show up with people that have moved into their dream home and the inspection passed, everything was fine. Then they get there and it's like one problem after another. Got to replace the furnace, the water heater. Now the roof leaks. This broke. What is happening? We're throwing all this money into our dream home that was perfect until we got here. That's saying that your energy is interfering in responding to the energy of the home, the land, and it may need a clearing. You don't have to live in a haunted house to be affected. Some homes carry trauma like wallpaper. It's been there forever, and you don't notice it until you peel it back, or in some cases, stir it up simply by your presence. Now, just like the earth has a grid system, so do you. Your soul grid is like your personal energy map. It holds your chakras, your blueprint, which is who you truly are on a soul level, not just the spirit of this human incarnation. It's bigger, brighter, more aligned with God or divine source, whatever you want to call it. And unfortunately, it also holds inversions, tech, and trauma implants and imprints. Implants and imprints, actually. So think of like you have multiple lifetimes. And if a trauma happened in a past lifetime, you were burned at the stake for telling the truth because you were a witch, but you were just spiritually inclined. That trauma can hold over into your soul blueprint so that in this lifetime, you possibly have a throat chakra imprint, trauma imprint on your, solar plexus. Sorry, the solar plexus, where your confidence, your ability to speak your truth, stand up in the face of somebody who doesn't agree with you, those could all be damaged from your human incarnations that carry over in your soul grid that shows up in each of your lifetimes. I have found AI tech, and I'm not talking about ChatGPT or Google answering your questions. I'm talking ancient technology, ancient intelligence, millions of years old, that type of AI tech, which is far beyond anything that we've created here on Earth yet. I've seen reversed symbols. Things were upside down or a mirror image that was just not what it was supposed to be. And corrupted coding that causes real life pain. These aren't always metaphorical. They show up in my sessions as symbols, implants, distortions. So, for example, I myself struggled with years of female issues, chronic pain, hormonal imbalances, poor emotional boundaries, right? All things sacral chakra. I eventually even had a hysterectomy. When my spirit team showed me how to access my own soul grid, I found that I had an inverted trinity knot woven over my sacral chakra and the womb space. It was a trinity knot, but it was upside down. That's not right. It was causing some issues. Once I healed it, everything changed. The pain eased. Wasn't just from the surgery, because I still had lingering issues even after the surgery. It was when I was able to heal this soul grid. The emotional clarity returned. I stopped looping through the same old feminine wounds. I have to give and sacrifice my own needs to help other people, people pleasing, all of those feminine wounds of doing too much for others and not taking care of myself. Once it was healed, it was a lot easier to say no. I mean, I'm saying no all the time. Nope, too busy for that. Nope, not interested in that. Nope, not doing that. It was great. And now I can hold my boundaries. I stopped carrying other people's emotions, and my creative energy blossomed. I was able to give birth, that womb sacral space, to my dreams because I wasn't blocked anymore. I have had so much creative downloads and ideas, more than I can even put into the physical world, because there's no block. It's just there. And I'm not worried what other people are going to think. The right people will find me. Everyone else will just keep scrolling. And that's okay. Now, for a client, she was struggling with foot issues, chronic pain. She even had surgery on one of them because of some bone issues. I checked her soul grid, and my team showed me in a way that my brain could understand, as they often do. She was wearing a pair of metal boots. Best way I can describe it. I heard that there were dark forces trying to keep her from grounding into Gaia when she's barefoot on the soil, and these boots were slowing her forward movement. It meant they were keeping her stuck in her life, in her dark emotions, anxiety, depression, and her trauma that she'd struggled with for over 40 years. And this energy is what dark entities feed off of. Although I'm always happy to take away an energy source from the dark shit in this world, but what mattered more was removing these energetic boots to set her free to heal, to move forward in her life. Of course, my guides also gave her practical healing advice to soak her feet in Epsom salts and then go out and ground. Now that these blocks were cleared, she could actually feel the energy of Earth, which would also heal her. She did that, and finally, for the first time in decades, she felt grounded, no longer like her emotions were controlling her, ups and downs, mood swings, instantly being triggered by other people. She finally felt hope again and in control of her life. Now, this doesn't mean that she doesn't need therapy to process the trauma. It means she is no longer blocked to process the trauma and move forward with her life. Treatment is often all of the above: energetic, soul level, emotional, mental, physical, see a doctor sometimes, and yes, even therapy. So now here's the thing. Some of the stuff that I see in Gridwork would absolutely blow your mind. It would be from sci-fi movies, things that I don't normally watch. I don't like that kind of stuff, but now I'm seeing it, I'm experiencing it. There are darker energies out there. Evil, demons, whatever you want to label them. I know the movies have really put a bad spin on that, but there is darkness out there. Things that feed off of suffering, that manipulate energy for control, to stay in power by keeping our light dimmed. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole today, but if you're curious and ready to walk on the dark side, I'll bring a flashlight, and I'll cover that in some future YouTube videos. For now, just know you're not crazy. If you felt or seen some things no one else could explain, there's more going on than what's visible, and your soul knows it. When we clear a soul grid or a land grid, the shift is immediate. People have reported feeling like themselves again for the first time in years. Sleep improves, chronic pain reduces, relationships heal, creativity returns. They report feeling safe in their home and in their body again. This is sacred work, quiet work. It's not big and seen. And it's time people start understanding what's possible. If this resonates, you're not alone, and you're not weird. And if you are, well, you're a good weird. And frankly, I want to hear your experiences. So leave a comment if you've experienced a space or land or someone's home that just felt off. Or if any of these symptoms resonate with you. If you've been experiencing this, let me know. Subscribe to this channel, and I'll be sharing more stories of the healing grid work that I do on land and with souls. And if you're ready to have your space or your soul grid cleared, check out the links in the description and book a session. It's all remote. I email you the results so you know exactly what's going on, what's happening, and likely some practical advice that the guides like to give to support you on that physical level. You don't have to change your schedule, just be open to receive the healing. And remember, energy does not lie. Trust your gut. If it feels off, it probably is, but we can fix it.